And so please describe to me what the aesthetic look is exactly.
More like this guy here.
Yeah. So we'll go ahead and bring
Oh wow, you really have to come in here? Is this is this really happening? He met the other guy behind you, bro. Like I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm right into that bad boy.
You can stay right there, behind the camera, behind the camera. No, see now you got me jealous now.
That's okay.
That's not
no,
fair.
But you're more in the category like Luther Richter, Arnold, name?
My man. Yeah. Arnold Ferrigno. Huh?
Okay.
Aesthetic. That's great, partner. You two ever go outplace everything in its proper place?
That does not make sense, but we usually do go, we head to Kroger's and we work.
Oh, yeah. I've got a lady waiting for me back home also. She has the most beautiful scrotum. Oh, God! And when she sings, she sounds just like a puppy dog. How do you nail a photo?
Just gotta get in the mode. You gotta talk with your eyes.
Talk with your eyes.
Talk with your eyes. You
Okay,
gotta
so
have the eyes
can you show me a little bit of something, like to this camera? I would love to know how to do this. I just want to know.
Well,
How do you do it? Teach me
smile,
something.
You can get the sexy eyes. Then you gotta get the smile going on some shoes, but.
Wait, hold up. I gotta try
when
this with you.
And when it's time to laugh,
I gotta try this
you
with
think
you.
of something funny and start laughing.
Do it again. How do you do it? Teach me.
Sexy eyes.
The sexy eye.
This is sexy eyes right here.
Smizing?
Smile.
So you're smizing.
Smile.
Okay.
And then you gotta get the.
No, I look like I need to take a poop or something.
Wish words were like little toy guns. No sting, no hurt, no one, just a bang, bang. Right?
Is that it?
Yeah, it's something like that. Just a bang,
Toy
bang,
guns.
rolling off your tongue.
Toy guns.
It's no smoke, no
Bang, bang.
bullets.
Water guns. All right.
Pascal, you are now rocking with that dude Pascal. We be going wild, Haitian in the building, so original. Got the haters catching feelings. Get your hands up to the ceiling and keep them held high. Cause St. Louis isn't ready. Forget about it, goodbye. Hold up, we just saying hi. Five somebody, rise up. Weekdays, catch us live. Somebody, let's go.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Pascal Show. Yes. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. I hope you guys are having a terrific and wonderful Tuesday. Terrific and wonderful Tuesday. I don't even know why I was trying to sing and then I stuttered on my own words, but you know what I'm saying. A terrific and wonderful Tuesday. You know what I'm saying? It's the first of the month, y'all. It is the first of the month, and I hope you guys are all having a fantastic and wonderful and terrific morning. You know what I'm saying? For those of y'all, who are happy and excited about the holidays coming up here soon and all of that, shoot, this is it. You know, holiday season, you can basically say now Christmas time is in full effect. You know, we are marching our way down towards that time where we can eat those milk and cookies. You know what I'm saying? So I'm really happy about that. You know what I'm saying? Before we jump into everything, I wanted to say on a serious note, there has been a lot of people who have been showing me a lot of love and support from yesterday. I posted something about, and I talked about it on the show. I talked about the passing of my father. He passed away a year ago yesterday, and so yesterday was a really hard day. Got to go visit him, spend some time with the fam, which was nice, and just be there. And give my respect to the man that put me on this planet, the man who made me who I am today. And yeah, so I really, really wanted to say to everybody who was on, who showed respect, who who messaged me, who commented on my updates on the community page and on my Instagram page as well. Go follow me on that, The Pascal Show, one word, and on Twitter. I just wanted to say thank you so much for the respect. You know, thank you so much for the love and the hugs. You know what I'm saying? Via the internet. You know what I'm saying? Without y'all, I wouldn't be able to do what I'm doing. I wouldn't be able to keep pushing and keep doing what I'm doing every single day. We wouldn't be at 13,000 plus subscribers at this point now, baby. We wouldn't be where we are right now if it wasn't for you guys. So the reason why I get out of bed and do what I do, the reason why I got out of bed yesterday was because of you guys. So I just wanted to say a big, huge thank you to all you guys for the support and love that you guys bestowed on me. I mean, seriously, you guys were extremely wonderful. And every single message that was sent to me, I read and I embraced with all the love of my heart. All right. So anyway, moving on from that, there's a lot to talk about today. We're going to talk about all kinds of crazy stuff for sure. I'm not joking. That title down below is real. That title down below is most definitely real. We are going to talk about that. A restaurant owner goes off on black women for twerking. Yeah. It's real. It is very real. We are going to talk about it because it's funny when you let something sit. It's funny when you let a story just sit and do its thing. Just let it marinate. You know what I'm saying? Let the seasoning, let the goodnesses this is just soak into that meat. You know what I'm saying? So when you cook that stuff, it just falls off the bone. You feel me? It's interesting when you let something just sit, even just for a few hours, y'all. It's amazing how fast information just flies and how a story can change at the turn of a dime. But before we jump into that and Mike Tyson, the Mike Tyson fight, there's some new updates about that and about some more vaccine updates as well. My boy Dave is in the house. David, what's a guambra?
Hey man, how's everyone doing out there today? Glad to be back here. Sorry I wasn't here with you guys yesterday. I'm glad you were all there to support Pascal and hang out with him. It was a rough day for him, so I'm glad. We have a really good audience here, and I always appreciate you guys for pretty much everything.
They the bomb, man. You know what I'm saying? Every single person that comes onto this, that's part of the chat, that's part of the show, that shows the support that they bring in. You know what I'm saying? Everybody is thebomb.com. You know what I'm saying? Why did I say that? Just ignore what I just said. You guys are the bomb. That's all I got to say about that. You know what I'm saying? By the way, there's something I just wanted to point something out real quick before we start going into this conversation, before we go into the news and all that. You know, we like to kind of chop it up, warm up. You know what I mean? It's kind of like this is my cold open. You know what I'm saying? Before the big show. You know what I mean? Johnny Carson. And I'm like, hey, what's the deal? You know what I'm saying? So just the other day, I just re-listened to a Christmas song. You know, we all are starting to listen to Christmas songs. As soon as Halloween was over, we already heard. You turn on the radio and you're going, all I want for Christmas is you. I'm serious. All you hear is that over and over and over again. But something was playing the other day that really just jacked me up. I mean, it just messed with my head. It's a very popular Christmas song. I'm being real. Grandma got run over by a reindeer. That is the most messed up song in the history of Christmas songs. Why would Santa want to murder your grandma? Think about it. Think about it. Why would he plow down grandma? Why?
Maybe she was too naughty that year and he didn't have any more coal. It is a weird song. It's a weird song.
You know what I'm saying? Who wants to sit there and go sing a song about murder on Graham? Think about it. Who does that? That's not a happy song. Grandma got ran over by a reindeer. How is that happiness? How does that make you think, ooh, milk and cookies? You know what I'm saying? Think about it. That's a really jacked up song. That's a really jacked up song, yo. Do me a favor, David. Just do me a solid. Yeah. Pull up the lyrics on that song real quick. Just read the first verse. Or actually the chorus. Because that's messed up. Who does that? Who wants to be down and all excited about, ooh, yay, Santa's going to murder grandma. I can't wait, but I'm still going to get that red bicycle. You know what I'm saying? Who sings that song with glee? You know what I'm saying? Go for it. You don't have to sing it. I'm not asking you to sing it. If you want to sing it, go ahead. I bet you got pipes. Go ahead.
I don't even know how the melody goes for this. I don't remember. But anyway, Grandma got run over by a reindeer. Walking home from our house Christmas Eve. Mm-hmm. You can say there's no such thing as Santa, but as for me and Grandpa, we believe. And then.
So
the final one.
No. Repeat the verse. Repeat that chorus one more time, because I got a weird theory. Go ahead, just one more time. One more time for me, baby.
Grandma got run over by a reindeer.
Uh-huh.
Walking home on our Christmas Eve. You can say there's no such thing as Santa, but as for me and Grandpa, we believe.
Thank you. Okay, this is my theory. All right, this is my breakdown of this classic effed up song. Grandpa killed Graham. Think about it. He killed her before the day before the day before Christmas, right? Because he finds her. Does he find her on Christmas Eve? Grandma got run over by a reindeer. Was it? Say again?
Yeah, on our Christmas Eve. Walking home from our house on Christmas Eve.
Bang. So, what if he killed her the day before? Laid her out, or he just left her there. He and, the grandson, he's like, come on, son. We need to go collect some firewood for the fire. Takes him on a new route to find, right there, right in front of you, laid out in the beautiful white snow, is Graham dead. Grandpa iced her. Facts. Then he's going to be like, what are we going to do with the body? Think about it, yo. What are we going to do with the body, yo? Then he has to teach his grandson how to cut up Graham's body. Ain't that messed up, yo? Think about it. Clearly, the song is about muerte. He killed her.
Or maybe he wrote to Santa and asked him for his gift to be a hitman, and Santa took care of her.
I like that too. Ooh. You could turn that whole song into like some messed up murder holiday special right there. Who done it? Was it the reindeer? Was it Santa? Was it Graham? Was it Grandpa? Did she take her own life? Was it a candlestick in the dining room? You know what I'm saying?
Do you have a tradition of creepy Christmas songs? What's the other one?
What's the other one?
Baby, It's Cold Outside, where you won't let the woman leave even though she wants to.
Oh, yeah. That's
Christmas.
And they've flipped that, they've smacked it up, flipped it, and rubbed it down in so many different ways with that song. You know what I'm saying? They have changed that song in so many ways. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, just a random thought. You know what I'm saying? Think about it, y'all. That is the most jacked up song in the history of jacked up songs for holidays. And the grandson's going, oh my God, Ma. I just did my Kevin Hart. Oh my God, Ma, my grandpa, Graham's dead. And he's just like, oh man, oh my God, she's dead. He's holding the bloody knife and everything. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, I digress. Now, for everyone who's listening right now, that's watching the show right now, will never listen to that song the same way again. You're welcome. Gratis. Anyway, we got to jump into some of these, top stories and everything. We're gonna jump into this Mike Tyson thing really quick first. Because obviously we've talked about this a little bit already yesterday in regards to the event, the fight between Mike Tyson and Roy Jones. Obviously, a lot of people it's a split decision on a lot of people. Some people think, it's a lot of people lean towards saying that Mike Tyson is the one that beat his ass, that won the fight. But there's a lot of other people that think that Roy Jones won that fight as well. But the main topic of this whole thing was how Mike was before and after the fight. And a lot of people are like, bruh, homeboy is high as hell. In my personal opinion, he most definitely was high. We also got a developing side of the story. The story has developed even more. David, what's up?
All right, so Tyson himself admitted he was smoking marijuana prior to his exhibition bout on Saturday. He says that, absolutely, yes. Listen, I can't stop smoking. I smoke during fights. I just have to smoke. I'm sorry. I'm a smoker. I smoke every day. I never stop smoking. And then he goes on to say, it's just who I am. It has had no effect on me from a negative standpoint. It's just what I do and how I am and how I'm going to die. There's no explanation. There's no beginning. There's no end. So you can tell he's probably high when he was giving this interview. But
he's like, there's no beginning. That's hilarious how he's like, there's no beginning, there is no end. Like this is a verse from the Bible or something like that. You know what I mean? He's reading Job for crying out loud. There is no beginning, there is no end. Or it's like he's talking about the ring. You know what I'm saying? Like an engagement ring or, a wedding ring. You know what I'm saying? There is no beginning. There is no end. It is infinite. But that's interesting.
Apparently he owns a 40-acre ranch in California where he grows weed, and he also has a public school there, the Tyson Cultivation School, to teach farmers how to grow and develop new strains of cannabis.
Word.
So he's invested in the market as well.
Oh, he's making millions of dollars off that stuff. Real talk. He's making millions and millions of dollars off of just growing weed. And of course, he's an advocate of marijuana. He smokes it every day, all day, or a day. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not surprised. I mean, the interview itself was very fascinating. Actually, you know what? We're going to pull that up. Hold up. I need to find it real quick because it's something that you guys need to check out. Because the interview itself, right before his fight, that's when everybody was like, homeboys, hi. So let me find this real quick.
So it doesn't matter as far as the fight goes. It's allowed to be high, I guess, because it's not on the list of banned substances anyway, and the test does not look for it because, again, it's not banned, so there's no reason for them to test for it. So as far as the fight was still legitimate, at least that doesn't invalidate it, as far as I can tell.
Wait, so that's allowed.
Let's see, the Voluntary Anti-Doping Association tested Tyson and Jones Jr. for performance-enhancing drugs prior to the bout, which ended in an official draw, but weed was not on the list of banned substances.
Of course not. There's no way he was going to do that fight sober. There's no way. Or there's no way, period. I'm saying, like, for him to get ready, for him to drop all that weight, for him to train and all that, there's no way on God's green earth he was going to be willing to let go of everything, all of his vices, if he has other vices, which I guarantee he probably does. You know? You're telling me he's going to drop all that stuff just so he can fight one fight? Nah, he going smoke. He going drink. Because he can do that. Damn. You know what? I don't see it.
And he was talking about his plastic dong before, so, I mean, it's something he's used to anyway. It seems like going to the fights high.
Yeah, he's admitted to using his baby's urine. He's admitted to using his baby's urine so that he could pass drug tests and whatnot, because he was all, because of roids and cocaine, and not roids. He said cocaine, all because of cocaine. Let me see if I can find this. Hopefully they got something here.
He definitely seemed sharp when he was fighting, though, and he took those punches pretty good. I mean, what was it? Roy Jones got maybe 3 good flurries on his body, and Tyson almost didn't respond at all. Though he got one good hit on Tyson's head that seemed to stagger Tyson a bit, and Tyson was seemed to be hurting for a second from that one.
Yeah, I mean, both of them had hits that like staggered. You know what I mean? That really got them like, whoa. You know what I mean? But there were some hits that Mike Tyson gave Roy that everybody was like, oh damn, this is gonna be nasty. He's about to go down. But he didn't. He ended up. Obviously he ended up handling the hits fairly well. He was just holding his side after the fight, understandably. I mean, that's a lot, to get hit like that. You know what I'm saying? That's a lot. Let's see. I'm going to try one more avenue here.
Yeah, like, he clipped him at least. Tyson clipped Jones at least once in the head. I thought he was actually going to go down then, but he managed to stand up. I think what got Roy Jones Jr. was all those kind of close-up body shots while they were clinched, because it looked like it just softened up his abdomen, and he couldn't keep his breath up anymore or hold his body as straight as he wanted to.
Yeah. Yeah, it was I can't find it. I was hoping that there was an interview right before he went into the ring. And he sits there, you know, he's like making noises like a goat. He's like, nah. Like he's doing all this random stuff. And you're like, where are you? You're not here with us. And everybody was tweeting on how high he was. He most definitely is high. You know what I mean?
And then what surprised me was Snoop comes out singing while he's smoking weed. I don't even know how he pulls that one off. I guess he was vaping, so maybe it's easier. I don't know, but I thought he was going to end in a flurry of coughing, but he pulled through. He's still fantastic at his job.
Yes, yeah. I mean, these guys are beasts for real. Those guys are bloody beasts for sure. But at the same time, I'll say this: I'm not surprised that he was high. Of course he's high. Regardless, he would have gotten high just being in that room. Just being in the room. There was so much weed being smoked. My dear God, there was so much weed being smoked. Seriously, so much weed being smoked that I wouldn't be surprised that I'm not surprised if everybody got a contact high because of the amount of weed that was smoked. I mean, Snoop was smoking, Wiz was smoking. You got Snoop Dogg and his mini-me, Wiz Khalifa, in the same place at the same damn time, and they smoke some really strong weed. You know what I'm saying? You don't think that they're going to be, you know what I'm saying? There's not going to be a little bit of a contact high. Mario Lopez isn't sitting there going, man, Doritos sound really good right now, man. I would go for a chalupa right now. Damn. You know what I'm saying? From just being around in the area, there was so much, you know? I even said this yesterday, but I mean, even Mario Lopez was making comments about how much weed was in the room. He's like, whoa, there's a lot of weed in here. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. It is what it is. But I'll also say this, though, too. The fight, the way it was put together, the way it was laid out, the way it looked, all that, the promoter, whoever promoted it, whoever put it together, brilliant. Brilliant. I thought it was very well done. I'll say this, though, and I know that maybe some other people will not agree with me on this, but I wish they did not have musical performances. Maybe one. Just one. Just give me one. One musical performance and get Neo to sing, and Neo to sing the national anthem, and that's it. Well, maybe one. Just one, not 17 damn people. And have them sing their entire catalog, perform their entire catalog. Man, that was just a little bit too much. That's just me. You know what I'm saying? That's just my own personal opinion. I'm there to see the fight. I'm not there to go, oh, yeah, Wiz, okay, cool. We're listening to all the songs that you did 17 years ago. You know what I mean? Snoop, cool, yeah, all right. We're here to watch him perform and just smoke weed. Both of them did the same thing. You know what I mean? YG, St. John, French Montana, all those guys. It's kind of like, I'm not here for these guys. I'm here to watch these damn fights. I'm here to watch these damn fights. That's what I care about. So that's the only thing. That's my only gripe about the fight, about the event. Cut those things down, and if the event could have been just a 2-hour event, and you just cut out an hour of performances, then let it be a 2-hour event and keeps it moving. You know what I'm saying? I understand that you don't have the excitement and the energy of an audience in there, and you got to fill up the time with other things. But that's just one thing I wish they could have changed. You know what I mean? And done something different with. But that's just my 2 cents. Keep it to one artist at least. You know, at the most, one artist. Let him do his catalog. Let Snoop Dogg do his thing. You know what I'm saying? He was the star of the show anyway. He was the star of the whole event. He killed that ish. Let him perform. Let him do his hilarious commentary. And be done. And be done with it. Then you don't have to sit around and wait for every single fight. Because, we're all waiting for... A lot of people were waiting for Jake Paul. The Paul and Robinson fight. And the main card, which was Tyson and Jones. That's all we're waiting for. So let it be that and keeps it moving. And that be it, y'all. That's it. Instead of being all this other stuff, all this other filler. You still would have made the same amount of money. You wouldn't have had to spend it on everybody. You could have secured the bags for yourself even more up in this piece. That's what I think. Oh, and another thing, and I've said this a million times before, and I'm going to keep saying it too. Snoop, you need to start doing like golf. You need to commentate golf. You need to commentate hockey. You need to start commentating on, tennis. I'm thinking of other white sports that are just like not as entertaining to watch. Bowling. Boom.
Maybe NASCAR.
NASCAR up in this piece, baby. I'm telling you, he would kill that. Everybody, and then that's the other thing. It would also open up to a whole other demographic of people that don't normally watch those sports. And it would be entertaining as all get out. So Snoop, man, incredible. You're hilarious. You're an incredible commentary. That's the kind of commentary that we need nowadays. Because right now, everything's so stuffy and serious and blah, blah, blah. We need somebody who could throw a little bit of a comedic angle on some things. You know what I mean? Not trying to poke fun at anybody, not trying to be rude, just speaking on what the people who are watching, what they're thinking. You know what I mean? Echoing what the people in the, that are watching the event are thinking. You know what I'm saying? It's hilarious. Johnny B. Good said Snoop's best work is nature shows. Absolutely. I've seen some of those things, and that stuff is hilarious. You see what I'm saying? So, like, imagine them just clicking and dragging him over to another, sport. Maybe that's something that he doesn't know very well. And let him just learn as he watches the game. Does that make sense? I think that would be brilliant, actually. Because if you really think about it, if he knows nothing about hockey, right? And he gets thrown in there and he's doing the commentating, right? He's commentating on that. But he knows nothing about hockey. But imagine him making comments, doing what he's saying, and learning as he's commentating. Because then people who don't know hockey, for example, the sport, are learning along with him. They're laughing, but they're also going, oh, so that's this, or that's that, or, oh, you can do this, you can't do that, or, you see what I'm saying? There's certain traditions that hockey has that a lot of people don't know about. You see what I'm saying? I think that would be brilliant, actually. So Snoop, think about it. That might be a really cool angle. Because no one's going to sit there and give you hell. Well, you might get some, because haters going to hate. But there's a lot of people that might appreciate that angle because they might be like, man, I've always wanted to ask what icing is. But I've been too scared to ask what that is. You know what I'm saying? I think that'd be brilliant, actually. I think that'd be brilliant. Huh. Hopefully, he watches, because clearly he watches the show. So, what are you going to say?
Yeah, I agree. I could just listen to Snoop Dogg comment all day long. He was pretty amazing during the fight.
Oh man,
he was even the only singing musical performance that I liked. All the other ones I kind of zoned out for.
Yeah, I mean,
he was like
breaking into Negro spirituals and everything. I mean, that stuff was just. He was trying to sing the spirit back into Nate Robinson. Man, that stuff was hilarious. That was hilarious.
Yeah,
that's what we need.
That Robinson fight, Robinson and Jake, what is his name? Jake Paul fight. It was pretty interesting. I know you already did a video on it, but that one was just kind of funny to me. I don't think Robinson should have been in the ring. He didn't really know how to keep his defense up, it looked like.
Yeah.
And that's why he kept getting hit in the head. Now, I did think the two fights, the Ortiz and Segawa fight and the Jack and McKernan fights were both pretty good. They were a lot more technical than Jake Paul.
I agree.
And yeah,
I agree. It was much more technical, much more thought out. You also got to remember, you got Jake Paul, who has some skill. He's got some skill. I'm not going to sit here and say that he doesn't know how to box. He's got some skill. He already has one fight under his belt. So he already has those first time jitters out. And I never saw his first fight, But I'm sure his first fight was a lot like Nate Robinson's approach, where he just walked into the ring and all training, everything he learned got thrown out the window. That's what it felt like. Nate Robinson came in and nerves took over everything. He forgot how to block. He forgot how to jab. He forgot how to, his whole approach, his whole plan, everything he was being coached on, gone. It also goes to show you that, I mean, here it is. Boxing's a real sport. And not everyone can box. Just like not everyone can play basketball. Nate Robinson is a basketball player. He should stick with that. Or if this is something that he really is interested in doing more of, he needs to really just go and train. Focus on everything he can. Have some training partners that might not be, that are vicious to him. So he knows what a licking feels like, what a beating feels like, what it feels like to get hit in the head. Because I feel like he didn't get trained properly. I feel like he got trained, but I don't think he sparred enough. That's the only thing I say. So then the nerves, especially if it's, hey, it's your buddy and he's just giving you some love taps. So, you know what I mean? You're just a body that you're a human punching bag. You know what I mean? Your buddy's a human punching bag. So you just throw some punches on him. You know what I'm saying? But when it comes to the idea of going into a ring and on the other side of the other corner, in the other corner of the ring, is somebody you've never met before. But he's here to spar you. And you got to come in with the best of your abilities and use your skills as best as possible. Instead of it being, oh, that's my boy Ray over there. You know what I'm saying? He's going to be nice to me anyway. No. Actually bring in somebody who really wants to win. Not beat you to a bloody pulp, but you know what I'm saying? I don't know who this guy is. I don't even know what to expect. There's that element, you know what I mean? There's that little bit of element. And I don't think he had that when it came to Nate. I don't think there was that at all. He just kind of...
Yeah, I think he caught it. The anxiety made him forget every bit of his training when he got in there, and he just needed to. This was his first fight ever. Jake Paul has had one. When you're performing a competitive sport in front of people, having one is a lot more of a benefit than having none at all, because you've gotten over the initial anxiety and you've gotten punched enough that you know how to respond to someone that's actually trying to beat you, not just trying to spar with you. And so I just think Nate, because to me it looked like Nate Robinson was just too excited. What was happening was he would see an opening and he would just go all in and completely drop his defense. So I feel like he was getting excited when he thought there was a chance to knock Jake Paul out, and so he would forget the part about, keeping his fist up to defend his head, and he would forget about not keeping his weight back so he's not overbalanced. And that's what it seemed like to me. He just got so excited he was throwing everything into his punches.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what he was doing. There was no thought. There was no thought process in his approach. Like I said, clearly it was nerves. And two, he's a novice. He gets thrown into the game, into the fight, and he's going, oh crap, this is some real ish. It's time to get serious. And Jake Paul has been talking a whole bunch of mess. So, you know what I'm saying? There's a lot to unravel there. And I think that his whole approach and his whole plan just completely fell apart. The whole thought process that he had in his head just flew out the window. And hopefully he takes this as a learning experience, but at the same time, he's getting roasted so hard on the internets that I don't think he's ever going to box again. That's what I think. Or maybe he uses this as fuel. You know what I'm saying? To go and maybe get a rematch with Jake so that he can go and beat that ass. I was rooting for Nate. I'm going to be real. I was rooting for Nate. And then that was a huge surprise. I mean, I looked away and I looked back and he's just You know what I mean? In the arms of an angel. Like, he just like, bow. And I just stood up and I'm like, oh my God. I feel like everybody did that. Everyone had that knee-jerk reaction of like, what? I mean, after the first knockdown, it was already pretty bad. But the fact that he just, like, his whole body went limp and he just went foam on the canvas, bruh. You know, for a fact, seriously, he just him dead. So I don't know if he's going to be boxing anytime soon. Let's be straight funky with that. But anyway, I digress. We got to jump into a quick commercial break. And when we come back, we have definitely got to talk about this restaurant owner in Texas that cussed out a room full of black women for twerking. Yeah. It's a very interesting story. And we got to talk about it. So we'll be right back. This is The Pascal Show. Bye.
You love peace and wellness for the holidays. Don't cancel them. Prepare STL. Decorate. Make it as normal as you can, but slow the spread of COVID. Wear a mask. Wash your hands. Watch your distance. Prepare STL, helping St. Louisans of color prepare and prevail.
But you see how he makes these S's in his body right here? That's where he's hanging on, and then he's moving forward with the locomotion of his ribs. That is classic Missouri rat snake right there. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab him before he gets into a hole. Now, these snakes are not biters. They won't bite as long as you don't squeeze them. If you just stop them like this, it'll freeze them, and then you just gently pull them back. As long as you don't squeeze them, they won't bite.
Yo, Mike, what's up, man?
Guy? Good to see you, man.
Yeah, so Sugar Fire.
Yeah.
Fully open, right?
Yeah, we're pretty much open. So you can't sit inside yet. Monday you can sit inside a little bit. We'll have 25% of the tables inside, and then we're letting it rip outside.
So I know that there's a lot of people really concerned about staying safe and all that.
No,
so what are you guys doing in regards to that?
Well, we have extra people to clean and rub everything down all the time. Everybody inside's wearing masks. And we have little stickers on the ground so everyone can stay 6 feet apart.
Right on.
The tables are all spaced out, inside and outside.
Sugar Fire, open in full effect right now. They're staying healthy, they're staying clean. Go get you a rack of ribs. Sugar Fire, open right now.
Thanks.
The Fur and Leather Center, providing the highest of fur and leather goods.
I'm sorry, I can't make this interview boring because this man is too exciting as a host. And I'm truly saying this, and if y'all can't do this, me and this man here is gonna leave and go somewhere else where we can get some love. I want everyone in the building to say, I love Pascal on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3.
Wow.
Homeowners and property managers, if you're looking for effective and humane ways to remove wild animals and deal with the damage that they have caused, we have good news for you. Introducing Wildlife Command Center, a professional nuisance wildlife management company specializing in providing animal removal for residential, industrial, and commercial clients. We are the only wildlife company that checks 70 different areas on a structure to determine the answers to the following questions. Exactly which animal are we dealing with? How is the animal getting inside the home? What kind of damage is the animal doing to the structure? Once we get the answers to all of these questions, we develop and write up an action plan to resolve the animal issue completely and provide a quote to implement that action plan. We perform a very in-depth 70-point wildlife inspection. From visually inspecting the highest point, the chimney, to physically crawling inside the attic space and looking for animals, chewed wires, fecal matter, chewed structural wood. We inspect everything. Our inspection process covers all of the following 70 points: animal-proof chimney cap, roof ridge vents, roof to soffit junctions, dormer fascia, attic gable vents, gutter lines, fascia trim, garage door, utility penetrations, water, gas, electric, and cable, bathroom vents, attic roof ridge vents, attic electrical, wiring, junctions, boxes, and lighting, concrete decks, additions, wooden crawl spaces, basement plumbing, penetrations, ceiling, floor, and wall. Wildlife Command Center's mission is to deliver the finest quality wildlife removal and pest control service that is safe for the environment. For more information, call us now.
Hey, welcome back, guys. Thank you guys so much for tuning in and being a part of the conversation today. If this is your first time checking out this show, please go hit that subscribe button on my YouTube channel. We do this show Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. Central Standard Time, and I also do a Tuesday through Thursday, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time show where sometimes we open up the phone lines. We talk about things that we may have missed that day. Because there's always new breaking stories and new breaking news that is happening throughout the day. So we do not only a show at 9 a.m. Central Standard Time, but we also do a show at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. Anyway, and don't forget to hit that like button down below. That would really, really mean a lot. But we got to jump into this next story. And this is a very interesting story here. Now, I'm going to tell you this story. I'm going to try to lay it out in the way that I learned about it, okay? And there's a very, very good reason for this, because I want to try to wrap this up in a very interesting bow for you guys. So, there is a restaurant in Texas called, now I forgot the name of it. There's a restaurant called True Kitchen and Cocktail. So there's a restaurant in Texas called True Kitchen and Cocktails, and there's a video that's going viral, has been going viral since last night, involving the restaurant owner and a room, or like a good sized group of black women. Now, people have been hashtagging this, basically, like they've been saying True Kitchen. Ruth Chris has been hashtagged in regards to this situation. I'll explain that here in a second. But one of the things is that this restaurant owner goes over to this large group of black women and curses them out for twerking in his establishment. We got the video. We got to take a look at this for ourselves. So I want you guys to see this with your own papers. Let's check this out, shall we? Colorful language.
I invested a lot of money into buying this building, into developing this concept, so black people can have somewhere nice to go to, okay? Somewhere where we can feel good about ourselves as a... Come on! Stop the music, please! Somewhere where our people can feel good about ourselves as a culture, okay? Yeah. No, real talk. And so all this twerking and shit, take it to Prime, take it to Pink, don't bring it here because we're a restaurant. And so beyond that, 75% of my customers are ladies. And I want men to show respect for themselves for how they carry themselves here. So how can I tell the men to respect themselves and you guys are twerking on glass here? If you want to do it, get the fuck out my restaurant. Because I did it for our people and I did it for our culture. So don't do it now. Don't do it again. I don't want to hear it. If you don't like it, get out because I don't need your money. I need to provide something for my people. And don't do it again. Thank you.
Woo! Okay. All right. Now, this is the video. This single video is going viral on Twitter, or has gone viral on Twitter. Okay. Now, people have been calling it restaurant suicide on video. There's a plethora of different things that are being that is being called. All right. Now, there's another angle to this video, because here it is. This is why I love when you take some time to just chill and let a story develop, because sometimes, like, you know, and I'm guilty of this too. you get a video, you find out a video, or you see a video about something that goes down, and then everybody and their mama wants to jump on it. And of course, you know, with YouTube and the mainstream media and all that stuff, we all want to be the first to be breaking a story, first to be breaking or showing the surveillance video of such and such, or when ish goes down and all that. Okay. Now, there are other angles of this video where there are other people that were videoing people twerking, having a good time. Not people, sorry. There was, in one particular video, there's two different angles. I couldn't find it on here. Every single time I tried to find the other angle, it was all commentating videos or people talking about the actual video, and they're talking over it and all that. So I can't show you those videos, but there are other angles where they actually show a girl leaning up against, I guess, you know, up against a window twerking, right? And you can see the owner of the restaurant, Kevin Kelly is his name, come over, and like you can see, like he's about to walk over to this girl and say, like, please, you know, please don't twerk. You know what I mean? Please stop twerking. Now, these videos are the things that went viral. These went all over the place. These have been shared. Obviously, people are sitting here going, you know, they're basically saying, boycott. You know what I'm saying? Blacklist this restaurant, boycott this restaurant, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Obviously, I'm going to be putting in my commentary here in a very little bit, but I want you guys to see the elements and see the pieces first. And what's interesting is that there have been, you have that main video where he goes off, and that was the only video that was put out, where it was just like, oh, a black man going off on black women, you know, talking down at them, basically saying, you know, you shouldn't be doing this in this establishment, so on and so forth. Have respect for yourselves. And if you don't have any respect for y'all, then get the F out of my establishment, right? So then that turns into a whole thing. And it says, and basically everyone's going, I ain't never going there. And how could he sit there and say those things about these black women, let these black women do what they want to do, so on and so forth, right? That's on just one angle. Then those other two angles of these videos come out. These other two angles come out, right? Still showing just one girl twerking, right? Now, this is what is interesting when something like this goes viral and the news get a hold of this story and they want to break it too. So there's another angle. And there's another twist to this story, and we're going to check it out. Here it is.
A Texas restaurant owner is responding after video of him yelling at customers went viral.
All this twerking, take it to Prime, take it to Pink. Don't bring it here because we're a restaurant. If you want to do it, get the f out my restaurant. Because I did it for our people and I did it for our culture.
It started with some customers standing on furniture and twerking. Music played inside True Kitchen plus cocktails. Owner Kevin Kelly says before the viral video was recorded, he asked the women to stop dancing and sit down. The viral video shows him addressing the whole restaurant, saying he invested a lot of money into it so that black people can have somewhere nice to go and feel good. The video spread quickly online, many saying Kelly addressed the situation poorly. He later posted on the restaurant's Facebook apologizing for using salty language, but not for calling out the women. He also posted other videos showing what the women were doing and how workers and management responded before he addressed the whole restaurant. Katie Johnston.
So, you saw that, right? I want to show you guys that surveillance video real quick. Do you see that? There's a whole bunch of women getting on top of the furniture, putting their dirty ass boots, dirty ass feet on restaurant furniture, having a grand old time doing what they want to do. Okay? Also, I want to point this out too. They had there was a certain song, it was Megan Thee Stallion Body, that was being played on the PA system. And that obviously got people really hype and feeling some type of way, so much that they wanted to twerk. So, here it is. You got a viral video that has gone out cut out only to show the restaurant owner losing his damn mind. I want you to see this video, this image one more time. This happened before he went off. This happened before he lost his damn mind. The restaurant owner, the manager, there were other people that went up to the ladies and asked them politely to get back down off the furniture and stop doing what they were doing. Then, restaurant owner had enough, came up and said what he had to say. Okay, now, I have no problem with women who want to express themselves by dancing and have a grand old time. There's nothing wrong with twerking, okay? I embrace it. I fully embrace it. I enjoy it just as much as the next person, okay? That doesn't mean that I twerk, but you know what I'm saying. I enjoy seeing it. Who doesn't, right? It's fun, right? Now, there is a time and place for everything. That's what I think on this particular situation. There's most definitely a time and place for everything. This is a restaurant. I don't see any dance. I don't see a dance floor. I don't see a DJ in the corner. I don't see nothing. There's a time and place for all of this. That's what I think. Now, it's funny, like I was saying earlier, when you get one side that is only cut and placed on the Twitters, on the twits, so that everyone else can, so that it can go viral, so that everyone can pass judgment on this gentleman who clearly went up to the ladies and asked them several times to stop doing what they were doing. Obviously, he had his last straw. He had, that was the last straw when he was just like, hey, these women are not listening to me and I'm getting tired of it. Okay? So that happens. They turn this all around. Then you see the other angles. Then you hear his side of the story where he says, I went up to the ladies several different times and asked them not to do it. And they kept doing it. So here it is. Here's my breakdown of this whole thing. Here's the breakdown of this whole thing. Both sides are wrong. You want to know why both sides are wrong? Both sides are wrong in totally two different scenarios, in totally two different ways. One, the ladies shouldn't have been doing that in the first place. Actually, you know what? No, I take that back. Here it is. Has nothing to do with the music, because I got a funny little anecdote about that, and I'll tell you that here in a second. But when you got a Megan Thee Stallion song going off in the background, you know what I mean? The music's pumping. These girls are having a good old time. They're having a blast. Maybe they're finally together for the first time in a really long time, because, we are in a panty right now. We are in a pandemic right now. So it is kind of hard for people to be around friends and family and all that. Maybe they were having a few cocktails that got a little loose, and next thing you know, they're twerking to some Megan Thee Stallion. That's okay. But when an owner or when a manager or any person that works at that establishment walks over to them and says, please, guys, please, can you stop twerking? I'd really, really appreciate it. This is not the type of establishment. This is not the right place. Please, can you stop? If you got people coming up to you and you still keep going, that's problem number one. Okay? Especially when you got the owner that comes up and says, yo, please, ladies, please stop twerking. I really would appreciate that. Quit twerking. And you still keep going? I don't blame him for being upset. That's where they were in the wrong. They should have listened to him, especially being in his establishment. He is the owner. It's not like this was just some customer that walked over and said, hey, man, my kids are trying to eat, and y'all making a clap over here. You know what I'm saying? Can you stop? No, this was the owner. Now, owner's side, real quick, the owner's side. This is where the owner is wrong. The owner should not have gone up and cursed them out that way. Period. There's a way to address the situation. Maybe he made it a public announcement saying what he needed to say, but he could have been a little bit more diplomatic about his approach. That's what I think. There is a way to get what you need to say out without actually cursing at the women and making you look like an ass. Remember, they took out that clip and then they placed it on the twits. And what happened? That ish went viral. Instantly, you look like a jerk. There's a way that you could have approached the situation in a much more diplomatic way where you can get your point across and everyone can still have a holly jolly Christmas. That's where he is in the wrong. The ladies did not need to get on his furniture and start acting the damn fool. That's where you start showing disrespect to the establishment. He should have just walked over there. Hey, maybe he got on his soapbox and made his announcement, but he could have used different language. He could have approached those women as a gentleman and still be stern and still be able to put his foot down without coming off like an absolute jerk. But it's funny when you hear one part, when you see just a clip. And like I said, you know, I'm guilty of doing this too. I'm guilty of getting the footage and then just going, okay, here it is. But then new developing sides of the story start to come out and you're going, oh, damn, I didn't realize that though. I didn't know that. Now we find out now. It's interesting what happens before and after that person hits that little red button on their cell phone to record. So there is also another thing. People are sitting there going, oh, because he's black, he has a certain, level a standard that he abides by, and he expects these women to rise above his standards and so on and so forth. Whether that is what he thinks or not has nothing to do with this situation. Any establishment would have asked for those ladies to stop. But this is the other reason why Ruth Chris is trending so hard right now as well. Because a lot of people are going, well, you won't see black women twerking at a Ruth Chris. That's kind of true. But at the same time, I don't, and this is the other side of like throwing this as part of the argument. But they're also not playing Megan Thee Stallion at a Ruth Chris. That's the other piece that I'll just throw out there. They're also not playing that stuff at a Ruth Chris. If they do, man, I will record that and I will play it on the show. Even though I'm not even, you don't see me at a Ruth Chris. Come on now. I ain't got that kind of money. Shoot, I'm good. I'm Gucci. But at the same time, that's the argument that a lot of people are saying. It's like, oh, okay, well, they were playing the music. They were playing that type of music to get people hype. So, of course, these girls are going to get hype and have a good old time. But then the question comes out. When dost thou twerketh? That's the question. When is the right time to twerk? I'll say this. I'm not about to sit here, eat at my table, and a girl's booty is right there in my face while I'm trying to eat a nice, delectable meal. No offense. I'm going to be like, girl, you need to go sit down. I don't need, you know what I mean? I don't need that right next to my food. I paid a lot of money for this food. This plate is amazing. I don't need, poop dust particles flapping around my food. You know what I'm saying? You feel me? Like, I'm good on that. But there is a time and place for everything. How he went up to her, how he went up to those girls was wrong. Definitely wrong. He could have said it in a different way, and he could have still walked out righteous as a mug. But he did not. He decided to start throwing language. That's instantly where you lose, my brothers and sisters. That's instantly where you lose. Do you understand? Instantly you lose right when you start. You instantly lose right when you start using foul language at a customer, or at a girlfriend? Let's be real, yo. You know for a fact, every fella knows exactly what I'm talking about. As soon as you go, what the F? All of a sudden they go from, I'm sorry to. And they give you that look. Oh, he did not just curse at me. Bruh, you instantly in the doghouse. And that's where he was wrong. Those ladies should have been respectful to the establishment. Yes, I understand. They think they know that it's a black restaurant. They automatically think, oh, it's okay to be our true selves here because the place is called True. You know what I'm saying? But no, they asked, please, no. Please don't do that. Please don't. So both parties are wrong in this situation. Both parties are in the wrong. But I'll say this too. I went to a restaurant. It was a white establishment. It was a white restaurant. It was Valentine's Day. It was a Valentine's Day dinner. It was not a restaurant like True or anything of that sort. It was just a regular restaurant. Valentine's Day, y'all. And they're playing it's Valentine's Day. Mind you, it's Valentine's Day. Having dinner, we're having a grand old time. And all of a sudden, Tupac's here in the video. Everywhere I go, I see the same hoes. That's while I'm eating what is said to be a 5-star meal. And there's other people around me, all different races and creeds. And they're all trying to talk sweet love. You know what I'm saying? It's Valentine's Day, baby. And you got Tupac talking about hoes in different area codes and stuff like that. That was playing in the background. So do you automatically go, all right, is the music the reason why? Is it instantly that? Or would they have twerked to any song because they were feeling good? I mean, obviously, they're not going to twerk to Beethoven. You know what I'm saying? Like, imagine them trying to twerk to classical music. Hell no. But I'm just saying. It could have been any song. It could have been Ludacris, for crying out. It could have been Will Smith. It could have been anything. And I feel like they would have twerked. They would have been dancing and having a good time. Right? So the question is, for those ladies out there that are gifted with them hips, when dost thou twerketh? That's the question. David, what are your thoughts on this?
Let's see. I mostly agree with you. I disagree that he did anything wrong, though, really. At first, I want to read some of his comments. He kind of already said what he said, but
yeah.
All right. This is his words to Kelly. What's his name? The owner of the place, Kevin Kelly.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So he says, when the first incidents occurred, the guests were politely asked to stop and have respect for themselves and other customers. The guests at issue were at 3 tables. As the video shows, you will see guests spoken to politely and literally begged to stop standing on our furniture and twerking. There are other videos that show much more of this behavior in the following videos, but we do not want to embarrass the guests sitting at those tables. Later, as another video shows, a customer stood on her seat, placed her hands against the glass window, and began to twerk. My immediate reaction was that this woman could fall through the window and we could be the target of a lawsuit if she is injured. My second reaction was enough is enough. After already addressing this behavior twice, these customers no longer deserve the courtesy of kindness I expressed in the earlier encounters, as it was met with disrespect and intentionally ignored. This is why they were told to leave. And he later goes on to say, as for the music played, moving forward, we will adjust our playlist. However, regardless of what had or will be played, no guest has the right to come into our business home and stand on our furniture because of any song played. As for the twerking being a part of our culture, we do not welcome the part of our culture that will come into a restaurant, stand on furniture, and twerk while using culture as an excuse. Would you accept this for your home as yourself if you would do this at any other restaurant you frequent? And so now it's my words, but I pretty much agree with him in that assessment.
Yeah.
So like the first thing, when he brought the story up to me, I hadn't heard about it yet. And my first question was, is there a dance floor? And you said no. And I was like, oh, well, they shouldn't be doing that. I didn't even know the details of it. I didn't realize it was like...
Right. But here it is, though. If there was a dance floor, that's what a dance floor's for. Like, that's what a dance floor is for, baby. So if there's a dining area and then there's a dance floor somewhere else, even if there was a dance floor, they should be using that dance floor. Go over there to that dance floor. Don't stand on his furniture and start going crazy and having a grand old time ruining his furniture that he spent. That's what I think. Regardless if there's a dance floor or not. There's a place and there's a time and place, literally a time, and there's literally a place for that thing, for that stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And so, yeah, I agree with you there. And you know, his argument is that it's culture, which I'm not even going to touch on. But my view is that it's a little simpler than that. He asked them to leave twice politely, and they didn't. So at that point, I think it is appropriate to literally tell them the GTFO, and I wouldn't be polite to them at that point. I think
there's a way. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I don't think he had to be polite at that point. I understand that it's very bad PR, and if he hadn't done it, it probably would have avoided the initial, negative reaction. But I don't think he was wrong. I probably would have done the same, honestly. And to me, it's not the song. The song doesn't make them dance. That's their own responsibility. They decided to twerk, even if it's, I don't know, Megan Thee Stallion, WAP, whatever. It doesn't, no matter how good the song is, it doesn't give you leeway to behave inappropriately in a place that has clear behavioral guidelines, right? And if the owner was fine with it and they could go on, that's fine. But like you said, I do see that the thing that caused them the most problems was specifically using the F word, and I don't think it's a big deal, but other people obviously do, and I get that the women were offended by that, but I think it's a bigger deal that they were offending all the workers and probably the customers, because who really wants someone to open their butt cheeks while they're eating right next to them?
Not really.
It's like you said, poo particles are going everywhere. It's just the way it works when you swing your butt, and I don't want that in my food.
Okay, so do you mind if I rebuttal on that real quick?
Go on.
Okay, because I hear you on that. You know, like if somebody's in my establishment and... See, if this was a bar, I know that sounds weird, but if it was a bar, I could see him saying GTFO. I could see him saying that. It's a bar. Whatever. But if he's sitting there going, within the same breath, saying, this is a fine establishment, this is something to help with the culture, to bring our black people up, get the F out, in the same breath, don't think so. I just don't think that was a good way of displaying yourself and trying to support your argument. Not sitting here saying that it isn't a good, a fine establishment. Not sitting here saying that it isn't fine dining. I'm sure it is. Hence the reason why he was like, stop twerking, y'all. Please stop twerking. But if it is a fine establishment, I've seen bad things happen at Ruth Chris. You know what I'm saying? I've seen bad things happen at fine restaurants. And even when they approach the situation, even when the employees or managers or even the like, if there's a security there, because it's fine dining, so you don't call them bouncers there, right? So even the security guys are doing it in a different way. They're not doing it as if they're outside some dive bar and they're going, get the F out. So, not sitting here saying that he didn't have a right to say, he has the right to say whatever the hell he wants. But the only reason why this video is going viral is how he approached the situation. And if he approached the situation a little bit differently, if he still approached them with respect in a way, as if he had a quote unquote fine dining restaurant, that video probably still would be out But people would sit there and go, I don't see what he did wrong. He asked you guys several times to stop twerking. I think one of the things that is really surprising people or making people feel some type of way is how he approached the situation when it got caught on film. It was caught on film, him saying, him saying ish, him saying the F word, like he was cursing at them. And that video standing alone makes him look really, really bad. But then once you get all the background story behind it, you're going, oh, yeah, these girls were wrong. But he shouldn't have cursed at them. That's the only reason why this video is viral. Know for a fact that if he went up to them and said, ladies, thank you so much for you guys being here, but I cannot have you guys twerking here anymore. I need you guys to leave. Please, will you please just leave right now? He could still even say, this is an establishment and I've spent a lot of money on. This is a fine dining place. I'm trying to push, the culture. I'm trying to do this for us black people. He could have said that stuff all day long. But as soon as he said the F-bomb, as soon as he started cursing, everything that he said got thrown out the window. That's why everybody's focusing on this. Has nothing to do with what he said before that. It's right when he said GTFO. Go to Pink, go to Prime, whatever he said. Go to Pink, go to such and such. You ain't going to do this in my fine dining establishment. Get the F out. You know what I'm saying? That's why everybody's going, whoa. You heard it in the room. The whole room gasps because he curses at them. And I understand he's angry, but he can still get his point across without cursing. He can still do it in a diplomatic way and get them the F out. He could say get the F out without actually saying get the F out. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's all. If it was a bar, if it was a place where girls were twerking, that were allowed to twerk and have a grand old time, I could see him throwing out the N word, throwing out the F word, every curse word you can think of. No one would pay no mind to it. Right? But the fact that it's a fine dining restaurant and he lost his cool, that's why it's going viral. If only he approached it in a diplomatic way, he would not be seeing as much backlash as he is getting right now. That's all. He's totally in the right for feeling that's how he felt. I just wish he approached it in a different way. I think we can all see that in a way. And I get it. You know what I mean? But I don't see I'm trying to think of like a massively popular fine dining restaurant. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a place there was, I don't even know if it's still open, but there was a place here in St. Louis called Tony's. And I mean, that was like fine dining. Now, if there were girls showed up at that place and they were twerking and everything, and the owner of Tony's walks up and says, get the F out, there would be quite a response to that too. Like I said, I feel like if you are building a brand and you're building an ambiance, the owner of all people should be emulating that vibe. He should be he is the face of that restaurant. And if the face of that restaurant is losing his cool and isn't approaching people in a fine dining kind of attitude, I can see that being something where it gets put on Twitter or where it becomes something that goes viral. You know what I'm saying? But y'all, comment down below. Let me know what you think. I just saw a little bit earlier, Mr. Super said something along the lines of, sorry, I'm trying to find it. Yeah, he said the owner cursed, so he effed up there. And I agree. I think that's instantly, as soon as he cursed, he shot himself in the foot. He's like, this is a fine dining, establishment, and then he started cursing. And it's like, okay, that's why everybody's on him like that. You know what I'm saying? But I see what you're saying. I mean, sometimes you gotta use force against force. And if they're not respecting you, then you got to do whatever you can. But I guarantee you that these songs, any twerking type songs or anything like that, I'm sure he is completely changing. It's going to be nothing but 90s alternative now. Alternative rock. It's just going to be, he's just going to be playing Nirvana in the background. You know what I'm saying? I can't think of any other 90s rock band right now. This is going to be playing nothing but Creed. There you go. Nothing but Creed. No one's going to twerk the, can you take me high? Like, no one's going to twerk to that. Ain't nobody going to twerk for that. No. Guarantee you no one's going to twerk for that. Anyway, we're going to go into a quick commercial break, but when we come back, we got some updates about some vaccines. Maybe it's coming out in 2 weeks, according to Mike Pence. Very interesting. We'll be right back. This is The Pascal Show. Bye.
Love, peace, and wellness for the holidays. Don't cancel them. Prepare, STL. Decorate. Make it as normal as you can, but slow the spread of COVID. Wear a mask. Wash your hands. Watch your distance. Prepare, STL, helping St. Louisans of color prepare and prevail.
But you see how he makes these S's in his body right here? That's where he's hanging on. And then he's moving forward with the locomotion of his ribs. That is classic Missouri rat snake right there. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab him before he gets into a hole. Now, these snakes are not biters. They won't bite as long as you don't squeeze them. If you just stop them like this, it'll freeze them, and then you just gently pull them back. And as long as you don't squeeze them, they won't bite.
Yo, Mike, what's up, man?
Guy? Good to see you, man.
Yeah, so Sugar Fire.
Yeah.
Fully open, right?
Yeah, we're pretty much open. So you can't sit inside yet. Monday you can sit inside a little bit. We'll have 25% of the tables inside, and then we're letting it rip outside.
So I know that there's a lot of people really concerned about staying safe and all of that.
No,
so what are you guys doing in regards to that?
Well, we have extra people to clean and rub everything down all the time. Everybody inside's wearing masks. And we have little stickers on the ground so everyone can stay 6 feet apart.
Right on.
The tables are all spaced out, inside and outside.
Sugar Fire, open in full effect right now. They're staying healthy, they're staying clean. Go get you a rack of ribs. Sugar Fire, open right now.
Thanks.
The Fur and Leather Center, providing the highest of fur and leather goods.
I'm sorry, I can't make this interview boring because this man is too exciting as a host. And I'm truly saying this, and if y'all can't do this, me and this man here is going to leave and go somewhere else so we can get some love. I want everyone in the building to say, I love Pascal on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3.
Wow.
Hey, welcome back, guys. Thank you guys so much for tuning in and being a part of the conversation. If this is your first time checking out the show, please go hit that subscribe button. That would mean a lot. We do this show Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Central Standard Time, and I also do a 7 p.m. Central Standard Time show, Tuesdays through Thursday. So be sure to tune in tonight. I will be on. Hopefully, David will be on with me as well. And we're going to be covering everything that we may have missed throughout the day. We might open up the phone lines and have a conversation with all y'all and hear your personal opinions about things that are going on in the world. Anyway, we got to talk about this other information. There's developing news. Obviously, we are keeping our fingers on the pulse of what's going on with the vaccine, with this COVID-19 vaccine. And man, they say something along the lines of this vaccine may be out in about 2 weeks. David's got the story. What a guan, bruh.
All right. So Pence was talking to governors across the country yesterday and the day before. And basically, he's going around briefing them on the plan for the vaccine deliveries. Or, well, it was a conference call, so he wasn't there in person. But he says that we strongly believe the vaccine distribution process could begin as soon as the week of December 14th. With this morning's news that Moderna is joining Pfizer and submitting an emergency use authorization, which is the EUA, we continue to be on pace. And the main focus of his call was to just lay out the timeline for the final approval with the FDA, with those two private companies. And the commissioner of the FDA didn't comment on the date, but they said that they are in the process of making the decision, or they're ready to make the decision on the Pfizer's EUA. And outside panel of experts plans to meet review Pfizer's application on December 10th. And just recently, this was a little more recently, Moderna is also planning to do theirs on the same date. And Hahn, the FDA guy, went on to say that we do all the number crunching ourselves. We look line by line on all the data, on all the patients and manufacturing. We do statistical analysis, and we come to our own conclusions to support a decision of either thumbs up or thumbs down. And actually, it's not related to these two vaccines, but I think it was about 4 days ago, the FDA actually looked at the AstraZeneca vaccine, and that was the vaccine that has a 70% immunity. And the FDA said no, because they only had 2,000 people that they tested, so they sent them back to have at least like 30,000. So that's kind of the things that the FDA does look at. But right now, the two that are going through, the Pfizer and the Moderna, which are the ones based on the new RNA technology, are they're planned to the first deliveries are planned to take place December 15th with the Pfizer, and Moderna vaccines. Pence said they were estimated to be on December 22nd, and Moderna just a little afterward updated that they now plan to do it on December 21st. So it's just a day ahead of the initial briefing, but. That's just Moderna pushing it up a little because they are getting through it quicker than they expected. So for the vaccines themselves, like the actual doses, Pfizer has 6.4 million doses, which is a lot more than we were initially told, ready to vaccinate 3 million people. And the following week after that, after the 19th, Moderna and Pfizer are expected to produce enough vaccines to vaccinate another 10 million people. By the end of December, the two companies will have manufactured enough for a total of approximately 30 million people for the month. And just to remind people, we have about 330 million citizens in the United States of America. That's not counting non-registered citizens. So, there's a lot more from immigrants and basically just illegal immigrants, really.
Yeah.
But there's still a lot of them, and they still need to be treated just because of the way immunity works. And so we don't know the exact numbers in that regard. But Fauci, again, focused on praising the Moderna, this time he's praising the Moderna vaccine, since before he's only really focused on the Pfizer vaccine. And he is now saying that the Moderna one is highly efficacious in preventing severe outcomes. And any misrepresentation that the vaccines had government interference or company interference is patently untrue, he went on to continue. And so some of the information that the FDA has got is that roughly 30 severe outcomes occurred, all in the placebo. None of the severe outcomes were from people with the vaccines, which is really good news. And lastly, they go on to say that they're starting to see an overall decrease in hospitalizations, especially in across the northern plains and Rocky Mountain states, and that after Thanksgiving, those places are being very proactive in trying to cut off the kind of burst of infections we expect from the Thanksgiving, since people are going to did travel, even though there was recommended against it. And so basically, we're getting these vaccines in about let's see, that's 3 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks. And so it's going ahead. So we will be starting to have the vaccines from the middle of this year, since all the testing is done and all that remains is the FDA approval. And with Fauci's support, pretty much Fauci's not in charge of the FDA, but his support suggests that the FDA will be pushing them through pretty quickly, since he's kind of the middleman between the science and the bureaucracy of the government.
Yeah. Are you going to take the vaccine?
Not this year, no. Not anytime soon.
Facts. It's interesting that it's now becoming a fairly politicized thing. Now it's turning into like a polarizing decision. If you decide to go and take the vaccine, like the way that it's being brought up, the way that it's being presented nowadays is being, I think it's kind of jacked up, because the way it's being presented, the way it's being made, there are a lot of people that are trying to turn it into something, trying to turn it into an extremely polarizing thing. Of course you're a Democrat. You're going to of course you're going to do the vaccine. Or, wow, you're a Republican and you're taking the vaccine. That's interesting. It's very interesting that this is something that is, now they're trying to spin this. Like they tried to spin, well, they're still spinning, wearing a mask or not wearing a mask, right? It's extremely polarizing just to talk about that. You got people who are angry enough to threaten people who are heads of health departments and stuff like that are sitting there going, hey, everybody, wear a mask. Just do that for now and you'll be okay. There are people out here that are losing their damn minds over wearing a mask. And now this is becoming a polarizing thing. But it is very interesting that I saw something. I got to pull this up right quick. I saw something on Instagram from a friend of mine that I thought was a very interesting point. And I wanted to pull this up real quick because I'm just going to read it. We don't need to pull it up and for us to see it. But I think it's important to see this point that was made. So this is what somebody put up on Instagram, and but it's a very good point. It's hard facts. So I'm going to read this. 40 years worth of research, no vaccine for HIV. At least 100 years of research, no vaccine for cancer. Ongoing research, no vaccine for the common cold. Less than a year for a COVID vaccine. I'll pass on that shot. And that's hard facts. If you really think about it, we are out here, a lot of people out here that are dying from many, many other things other than COVID. And it's funny how they quickly found a vaccine that fast. Yet there are, and this is funny because we just talked about this yesterday too, because somebody, I forgot their name, but they made a comment about it. They were like, people are dying of heart attacks and cancer every single day too. And it's just really funny that you got cancer that is taking out so many people. And like it says, at least 100 years of research and no vaccine for cancer. Same thing for HIV. HIV has been around for a while. And they still don't have a quote unquote cure for that. But then all of a sudden we got the COVID vaccine that's just out like that. It's crazy. It's crazy. This is, to me, it's just a very interesting observation. Now, I need to pull this up, and I'm just playing the audio. You already know how I feel about Candace Owens. You know how I feel about Candace Owens, but she just a few yesterday put up a video, and I want us to take a listen to it real quick. I want to hear I want to hear what you guys think on this. We don't need to see the video. Well, let me just throw up the video. It's fine. It's a lot easier when you get to see the person's face and all that crap too. So let's just take a listen real quick, shall we? Hold on one second. Oh, come on. There we go. Here we go.
What's up, Instagram? So, I just wanted to ask the question. How many of you guys are planning on getting the COVID-19 vaccine? No judgment. No judgment. This isn't a left or right issue. I'm just genuinely curious as these articles are ramping out about vaccines. How many of you guys are going to be among the first to inject this experimental vaccine that's been rushed into your arms? I've been amazed, really, just seeing the power of propaganda. And if people say things enough time, people completely suspend critical thinking. Like, I was just trying to work out how a virus that has a 99% survival rate needs a vaccine that has, at best, I think Moderna recently said, a 94% effective rate. So you could get the virus and you have a 99% chance you're going to survive, or you can get the vaccine, which is not a cure, but has a 94% chance, 94% effective rate. So I was just curious, for those of you that are like, I can't wait for this. I can't wait to put this in my arm. Like, what's your thought process there? Like, I'm genuinely trying to understand, because lions just don't understand the mentality of sheep. But we try to understand the mentality of sheep. I often try to understand people who said for Thanksgiving, well, my governor said not to do Thanksgiving, so I stayed home by myself and I ordered a sandwich. Because, like, my house was filled with my family. I didn't even care. I didn't even look up what the restrictions were. I didn't even care. It didn't even cross my mind. Because lions do not understand sheep, do not understand waiting for a governor to tell you whether or not you can see your mom, dad, your grandma, your sister, your brother. I mean, I just saw my whole family and cooked for my whole family. So just going back to this vaccine topic, I genuinely would love to inspire a conversation in the comments of people that are pro COVID-19 experimental vaccine, and what you think about the ties that the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation has to this vaccine, has to Moderna. What do you think about the ties that Dr. Fauci has?
Okay, I think that's enough. You get what you get it. You're picking up what I'm putting down. It's funny. It's really, really funny, because I never ever thought in the history of thoughts, in the history of this world, would I ever, wait for it, agree with Candace Owens. I said it. I mean, the lion and sheep BS is just BS. I don't like that type of rhetoric. I'm not down for that kind of thing. But I do agree with what she said. That is the first time hell has frozen over. Literally. This is the first time ever in the history of ever have I ever agreed with what she is saying. You've heard me on this show. I've said it over 1,000,000 times. This is something that they just sped up, and they, just like those girls twerking, they just pooped it out. And then they just, you know what I'm saying? And then all of a sudden, it's just like, suddenly, all of a sudden, y'all, we got a vaccine, we got a cure, y'all. It's going to change the world. And all of a sudden, everybody's going to run to this thing. Now, I'm not calling anybody sheep. I am no way, shape, or form calling anybody sheep. I'm not going to do that, because that's not how I roll. I will never belittle somebody if they feel like that's going to protect them. I'm never going to belittle somebody about that. But my own personal opinion, bruh, are you sure you really want to do something that isn't fully thought out yet? I feel like they're throwing out an unfinished book. You know what I'm saying? It's like an incomplete sentence. And they're going, okay, this is good enough. Let's do this. I find it very weird. Personally. Go ahead.
Yeah, I agree. I won't be taking it for very much the same reasons immediately. It's I'll be watching the VAERS system, which is what our FDA and CDC uses to track adverse reactions to vaccines. And I'll bring it up for everyone else too. Because it only works based on self-reporting. So if you have side effects and they're bad, report them to the FDA and CDC.
Yeah.
Because that's the only way we're going to really know if it's having huge effects. And what we really want to see is about 200,000 to 300,000 people under the vaccine. And I want to see them at least for about 6 months after the vaccine, so we get at least the proper time to see the post effects or any unexpected long-term complications. So I want to see those. It would be strange to take a vaccine and not see those, to me. And so everyone should report their side effects, and I definitely recommend to watch it because it's public information. So you will get to see how it affects people. And this stage, the VAERS system of public testing, this is the real test to see how it affects the general population, because the lab-controlled tests, even with their placebos, aren't really a good representation because they are still a selected group. They're still roughly confined to a few areas, and we do see data manipulation coming from them. For instance, both the Moderna and Pfizer vaccines report around 95% efficacy, but that's excluding people over 85. That's excluding some of the tests they thought were bad from sick candidates. I think 85, for people 80 and over, the efficacy is closer to 70 to 80%. So this average is very misleading. They're taking the majority of younger patients they had. So the younger patients made up the majority of the tests. So those testees are the ones raising the percentage, while the people that should be more concerned about the vaccine were tested at a smaller level, and so they make up a lot smaller part of the overall percentage, the average percentage. So we're actually seeing a much lower efficacy rate on the people that should be the most concerned with the vaccine that hasn't had time for people to see adverse long-term reactions. And on top of that, it's a new way of delivering the vaccine, chemically speaking, within your body that also hasn't been tested. So not only is the delivery new, the vaccine is new, and the AstraZeneca is the traditional one, which got shot down for lack of testing.
Right.
And the only place right now that is pushing out these vaccines is China, who has had 1 million people vaccinated without having even the phase 3 test completed. So they've only tested a few hundred or thousand people, and they've given so many of their population the vaccine. Though that's probably because, CNN has a big report on this. I'm not going to go into it right now, but China has been hiding how many people have died and infected.
Word.
And so the medical databases are higher than what they're reporting. And pretty much, I mentioned them a long time ago, but they were reporting outbreaks on borders with Afghanistan and other places that didn't have COVID-19 outbreaks in those areas. It turns out those were COVID-19 outbreaks in China, not those countries. So,
right.
It's kind of been predictable, but that's why they're rushing their vaccine, and they're the only country doing it because they can force their citizens to take it, which is exactly what they're doing. The only reason that it even became more noticeable is because they tried to lock down an entire area, including the airport where reporters were. And that's when we first got the news from it. And then healthcare workers started leaking the actual information. And, we're seeing the same thing here with this vaccine, that there's a lot of mischaracterization with the influenza in places like Russia and China, everywhere really, because it turns out China had cases as far back as December. So there's a lot of retroactive testing going on with flus that turns out to have been COVID last year. And that's probably why they're pushing their vaccine. They really did have this huge outbreak, and their hiding of it did cause part of the global outbreak, since they were hiding that important information. And that's why I think they pushed the vaccine, even though they themselves admit it's not fully tested. But, you know, people in the West can choose. Well, most countries, I think, in the West can choose if you take the vaccine.
Right.
And so the difference is making the population take the vaccine is best for the collective government, but it's not necessarily best for the individual or their own families, depending on, you know, your own health circumstances, your concerns about the vaccines, having issues that were not part of the test. There's a lot of health issues that were not part, just naturally from only having 38,000 people. There's a lot of health issues that are not tested for, or medications that might have contradictions with the shots. So there's so much information that is incredibly important that we do not have.
Thank you. That's my whole gripe. That's my whole issue. You see what I'm saying? This is the only reason. This is the only reason why I agree to some extent for the first time ever with Candace Owens. Wow. First time ever in the history of history. Since the dawn of man, there has been no beginning, nor was there ever an end, like Mike Tyson said earlier. Literally, I don't ever agree with her, but I agree with her on this. Don't get me wrong. I want to be somebody who wants to, I would love to be able to take the vaccine if it's something that I know for a fact is not going to harm me. And I know for a fact that's not going to harm my loved ones, you know, my family and all that. Of course, I will do anything. I will do anything to protect my family. But I'm not about to inject something in my body that hasn't been tested out properly. They're literally pooping this thing out and shoving it out to the public and saying it's done. It's perfect. It's going to be fine. Now, and you know, I'm seeing the comments and everything, and you know, I'm not trying to, you know, I don't think even David is trying to lean on any type of conspiracy theories or anything like that. We are looking at the facts. We are talking about the facts. David just brought up some really, really good points here. You know, what if you are taking other medication and you take that and it has a bad side effect because you're taking certain types of medication for whatever health issues you may have? Shoot, you could be taking psychological drugs and then take that vaccine and then it just jacks you up. You never know what is the reaction, what is going to be the end result. You know, they have not fully tested this out properly. I'm sorry to be that guy. I'm not somebody who sits there and says anti-vaxxers. I'm not an anti-vaxxer guy. I am not. But when you go, here you go, wear it, you know, put it on, put it in your body. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. We're going to do it live. We'll do it live. It's like, no, this is not how we need to be going. There is no surefire way that this is let's just say, side effect free. There are way too many people on this planet. There's way too many people in this country that are built different. You can't sit here and say that this is going to work for everybody. And I keep saying this. I'm sorry for saying this, but we're going to hear a lot of horror stories. Like when they start putting this out, and you know for a fact there are going to be people who are required to take this. There will be requirements for people to take it so that they can go back to work. They're going to go, they're going to take it, and then all of a sudden, we're going to hear all these horror stories. We'll hear all these horror stories right before Christmas of all these people, you know, like Good Morning America and all that stuff. They're just going to sit there, you know. He was a father and a husband and sentimental music playing in the background. The tear-eyed, you know, widow is on camera talking about losing her husband due to taking this vaccine. I'm sorry for saying that, but that's real. This is the reality that I feel that we're going to be stepping into. And like I said, if I'm wrong, I have no problem coming on here and saying, yo, guys, I was wrong. This thing is doing amazing things. I want to be wrong. But you won't see me standing in line getting the vaccine first. I'm sorry, David. You were going to say?
Yeah, I agree with you, and I'm a huge fan of vaccines in general. Like everyone should have mumps, smallpox, and all those
I agree.
super deadly diseases. You should have vaccines for. I get the flu vaccine every year because I know how it works, and it works in a fairly reliable way, and it's been tested year after year. Sure, the actual strand you're being vaccinated for is different every year, or the cocktail, because they usually do multiple strains, but this virus, not the virus, but the antibody, vaccine itself has been used so long, it's well tested, and those are vaccines I'm a big fan of. Like I said, I get the flu one every year. I think it's best for most people to get the flu vaccine every year. This vaccine, I have no reason to trust so far, and I would want to see, actual a lot more science to make me want to trust these first. That's why I'm going to be watching the VAERS system very closely, because that's going to be a real information there. And let's see what else. We know that.
Yeah.
Sorry, go on.
No, I was just going to say real quick. Our eyes are going to be stuck on the VAERS website. I mean, just to see. I mean, as soon as they start administering, for a fact everybody's going to be focused on seeing if there's any side effects. But what were you going to say, David?
Let's see. So I said the flu shot, but yeah. Oh yeah, the side effects of the Moderna and the Pfizer are another issue that have been pretty severe. So for both of them, a lot of the people, part of the test recommended you take a day or two off after the second shot. And there's a huge campaign that's already beginning because doctors are afraid that after the side effects of the first shot, they won't come back for the worst side effects of the second shot. Since people were reporting hangover effects that would put you down for 2 days, or other severe muscle pain and confusion that puts them down for a day or two that have to take off work, especially in the older people who have less of an efficacy from the vaccine to begin with. So we don't know how that's going to affect everyone. So what did they test it on people with migraines? I didn't see any section that suggested they did without having a different effect on those people. We just don't know these things quite yet. And with such severe side effects, even if they only last a couple of days, it's something we should look at and wait a little more on, and use the more trusted timeline to look at on a personal scale. Again, like I said, from the government's perspective, it's in their best interest to make everyone take the vaccine. It's not necessarily in the best interest of everyone who would take the vaccine to take it. We don't know that yet. And I think it's pretty questionable for certain demographics to take it before we see a lot more results from general public testing. We also will get to see testing from other countries who are likely going to focus on different aspects.
Mm-hmm.
They're likely to focus on other things that might let us know problems that we overlooked ourselves. These are all things I definitely want to see. It's not that vaccines are bad. You should get vaccines.
No.
And it's not that you should listen to anti-vaxxers, because even people that have generally incorrect ideas might be right occasionally.
Right.
So I think this vaccine is unique for many, many reasons. And as someone who's very interested in looking directly at the studies rather than news reports, it's just not as rigorous as you would expect a scientific study to be right now.
Right. And, and that's the thing. The fact that this is a new approach, this is a new approach. This is a new thing. This is a new, it's brand new. It's brand new. How this vaccine has been made, how quickly it's how quickly it's been made, how quickly it's going to be administered and put out there for the rest of the world, or for the rest of the country to take. It's all unprecedented. And for me, that gives me great pause. That just gives me great pause. Doesn't mean that it doesn't work. Doesn't mean that the vaccine isn't going to do what it needs to do. It just gives me great pause. Just like I feel like there's a lot of people that do feel that way. You got people who, the Wright brothers created the plane, right? There were multiple mistakes before the plane became a plane, before they were able to fly, right? They had to crash many, many times. And don't get me wrong, I get that we have some of the best working on this vaccine. But, there is a moment where you kind of step back and go, damn, that came out quick. That came out really, really quick. So that's why it gives me great pause. Doesn't mean that it won't work. Doesn't mean that it's not going to be highly effective. But it does make me kind of side-eye it a little bit. And I think that's okay. As much as we all want a cure, as much as we all want something that's going to help this pandemic, flatten the curve and all that, you can't sit here and say that there isn't a little bit of, just a tiny bit of skepticism with it. I mean, maybe I'm just speaking for myself, but it does give me great pause.
Jalen said something that is true. She said it's going on the market as a trial. This is right. This is actually what the studies are saying, that this is pretty much the final phase of the public test trial. That's what the VAERS system is for. But in this virus specifically, it's going to be giving us a lot of foundational information to decide how the vaccine works and how it should be administered.
True. I just, I don't know. To me, it gives me pause. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with any person that has pause. Shoot, there's nothing wrong. I can't even believe I'm saying this, but there's nothing wrong for Candace Owens having that question, being questionable, being inquisitive about the situation, because it is a weird time. It is a weird time. Doesn't mean that it's like if somebody decides, if say David was going to go and take the vaccine, I would never pass any judgment on him ever. It doesn't have to be a polarizing thing. Whether you take the vaccine or not, I mean, that's on y'all. It's your body. It's your choice, as I see people using now in regards to wearing a mask. Right. So if you feel compelled, if you feel emboldened enough to go and get the vaccine, hey, it's okay. By all means, go for it. If you really think that it's something that's going to be the remedy to all your issues, then please, by all means. But for me, I want to step back and see how it does first before I automatically start putting something in my arm that could possibly kill me. I know that sounds really dramatic, but there is that extreme though too. Remember, they've only talked about here's the placebos and here are the people who have taken it and therefore 94.1% such and such efficacy and all that stuff. They have never talked about if there was any other side effects. They never talked about deaths. They never talked about other things other than, oh yeah, you just feel like crap for 2 days. They haven't really said anything else. And then it's like, what level of feeling like crap do you mean? You know what I'm saying? The spectrum photo of the faces. You know what I mean? Like, what level of pain are you in? And there's a guy who looks really, really bad to the guy who's just with a big old grin on his face kind of thing. Those cartoon things. And you got to point at one to show how much pain you're in type of thing. Like, what if there's people that are like at a 10 in pain with this side effect, but they're just playing it down? I don't know. Like I said, this it gives me great pause. And I think that's okay. And I think that's okay for anybody who's a little skeptical about it, And
I do agree that it's not polarizing. If someone wants to get the vaccine, they should go for it. So,
absolutely.
I wouldn't do it, and I wouldn't recommend it to my friends. But if you want to go for it, it's your choice. And honestly, it makes it safer for other people if it does work. So
true.
It's to my benefit if you take the vaccine, I guess, but it might not be, it's questionable if it's to yours.
That is very, very true. You know, I mean, to each their own. It is your body. And like I said, there's going to be a lot of people that are going to be required to take the vaccine. Required. You're going to have to take the vaccine. And that's okay. That's okay. I wish all of y'all who end up, if this actually does come out in 2 weeks, I wish everyone Godspeed when taking this vaccine. You know what I mean? Clearly, we do need something. I'm not sitting here saying that we don't, but I wish everybody luck when they actually end up taking it. But anyway, I digress. Unfortunately, we got to wrap up the show, guys. David, thank you so much for being on today. I really appreciate it.
My pleasure.
Yes. But anyway, of course, I'm sure we will be continuing the conversation about vaccines, to take it or not to take it. That is the question. We will be talking about it, I'm sure, tonight at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. So be on the lookout. Be on the show. Don't forget to hit that like button down below. And if you haven't done it yet, hit that subscribe button. That would really mean a lot. You know what I'm saying? I know that this conversation about the vaccine is it's so funny how this is so polarizing, how this conversation is so, what's the word? I guess the only one I can think of is so polarizing, if you take it, then you're this, if you don't want to take it, you're that. And, I'm not throwing any shade on anybody that wants to take it or that doesn't want to take it. It's up to y'all. It is your right. It is your human right to make the decision whether you want to take that vaccine or not. Me, I think I want to step back and just wait for a little bit and see what happens as this is being administered and as people start to take it, But anyway, I wish you all a very wonderful day. Okay, I'll be on tonight with David at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, so be on the lookout for it, okay? Be good to yourselves, be good to one another, and I'll see you guys tonight at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. This is The Pascal Show. Bye!
Love, peace, and wellness for the holidays. Don't cancel them. Prepare, STL. Decorate. Make it as normal as you can, but slow the spread of COVID. Wear a mask, wash your hands, watch your distance. Prepare STL, helping St. Louisans of color prepare and prevail.
But you see how he makes these S's in his body right here? That's where he's hanging on, and then he's moving forward with the locomotion of his ribs. That is classic Missouri rat snake right there. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab him before he gets into a hole. Now, these snakes are not biters. They won't bite as long as you don't squeeze them. If you just stop them like this, it'll freeze them, and then you just gently pull them back. As long as you don't squeeze them, they won't bite.
Yo, Mike, what's up, man?
Guy? Good to see you, man.
Yeah, so Sugar Fire.
Yeah.
Fully open, right?
Yeah, we're pretty much open. So you can't sit inside yet. Monday you can sit inside a little bit. We'll have 25% of the tables inside, and then we're letting it rip outside.
So I know that there's a lot of people really concerned about staying safe and all of that. So what are you guys doing in regards to that?
Well, we have extra people to clean and rub everything down all the time. Everybody inside's wearing masks. And we have those little stickers on the ground so everyone can stay 6 feet apart.
Right on.
The tables are all spaced out, inside and outside.
Sugar Fire, open in full effect right now. They're staying healthy, they're staying clean. Go get you a rack of ribs. Sugar Fire, open right now.
Thanks.
The Fur and Leather Center, providing the highest of fur and leather goods.